Semiconductor has become the key part of tech rivalry between US and China. As 90% of most advanced chip in world is produced in Taiwan, the invasion of China in Taiwan can block the semiconductor supply chain across the entire world and give Beijing the control of these cutting-edge chips used worldwide. Have you ever thought of how Taiwan, a small island state in northern Pacific, became so critical in global politics? By the way, we have started to create videos to understand history, innovations and current semiconductor industry situations in the leading countries. We will be covering a couple of countries in this series and will conclude with India. Do watch our first video on Israel and subscribe for more such informative videos. Acquiring this knowledge will help us in grasping the present semiconductor industry scenario in India. Back in early 1960s, Taiwan was predominantly an agricultural economy, with sugar its biggest export. And at the same time, around 1970s, the US dominated global semiconductor production with 65% of total market share. In late 1970s, American domination of the sector through then household names such as IBM, Texas Instruments and RCA started to be challenged by Japanese competitors. To survive the increasing competition, American companies started to outsource part of their business that were profit draining, including the manufacturing units. By the mid 1980s, Japanese global market share of semiconductor chips overtook that of US. The component of semiconductor industry travel around 50,000 kilometers and cross more than 70 international borders before a chip finally reaches its end customer. It's an incredibly complicated global supply chain, with some countries in that chain are critically important. One such example is Netherlands, where the photolithography leaders ASML produces the only extreme ultraviolet, that is UVM lithography machines in the world. Another is Taiwan, which produces over 60% of world's most advanced semiconductor chip. No secret in Taiwan's success, it's all about good timing and a pinch of good fortune. Let's understand how it happened. Let's look back into the evolving journey of Taiwan's semiconductor landscape. When we are talking about Taiwan's success, we can't miss the semiconductor founder of Taiwan, Maurice Chang. Born and brought up in China, he moved in America for his higher studies. After completing his bachelor's and master's from MIT, he received his PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford. Then he spent 25 long years in Texas Instruments at various important positions and rose up in the ranks to become Group Vice President responsible for TI's worldwide semiconductor business. When the TI's focus turned into calculators, digital watches and home computers, Chang felt like his career focused on semiconductor was at dead end at TI, and he moved on to General Instrument Corporation as President and Chief Operating Officer. While being in TI, Chang observed that TI's factory in Japan achieved twice the chip production yield as TI's factory in Texas. One of the major reasons being the better skilled staff and technicians in Japan were available at significantly economical rate, and failing to recruit the same caliber of staff in United States, he concluded that the future of advanced manufacturing appeared to be in Asia. Later, the Taiwanese government offered him a chance to become chairman and president of Industrial Technology Research Institute in Taiwan. Holding the position, Chang realized there is a great opportunity to set up a manufacturing company in Taiwan, and he founded the first dedicated semiconductor foundry, TSMC, in 1987. Setting up the semiconductor industry was a long-term vision goal of Taiwan, but the high investment and risk involved was a roadblock. When no other investor showed interest in Taiwan's aspiration, Philips, an European company, came ahead to team up, bringing 58 million, its production technology and licensed intellectual property. In return, Philips got big part, that is 27.5% of new company called TSMC. The Taiwanese government provided another 48% of the capital for TSMC, and the rest of the capital was raised from wealthy Taiwanese who were asked by the government to invest. So TSMC wasn't just a private business, it was a special project, a dream of Taiwan government. With some brave companies, a bunch of rich businessman and the strategic leadership of Maurice Chang. And that's how the chip making journey in Taiwan began. Chang introduced a bold approach in TSMC by setting prices for semiconductor lower than the current production cost. The profit per unit produced was much smaller than at other firms, but they offset this against their much larger output. In this way, they could supply several companies competing and overpowering market rivals. This strategy involved giving up immediate profits to capture more of the market and increase manufacturing efficiency. The goal was to reap larger profit in the long run. With this strategy, TSMC suffered huge losses in the initial days, but it paid off in the long run. Today, all leading fabless semiconductor companies such as AMD, Apple, ARM, Broadcom, Marvell, MediaTek, Qualcomm, Nvidia are customers of TSMC. In 1997, it became the first Taiwanese company to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Today, it is a company with more than 70,000 employees and has a global capacity greater than 15 million 12-inch wafers per year. Now in the current scenario, the global production capabilities have been concentrated in just a few selected countries. This leads to significant geopolitical challenges. Because of the Taiwan's crucial role in supply chain of both American and Chinese tech industries, it has become entangled in the technological aspects of the trade war between China and United States, as well as the broader geopolitical conflict between these two powers. When US imposed a sanction on companies using American equipment or intellectual property to export products to prohibited entities in China, it forced Taiwanese semiconductor companies to stop doing businesses with major Chinese clients like Huawei. You can watch more details of the US position in these geopolitical conflicts in other video. Link is in the description. The Taiwanese semiconductor industry geopolitical influence is commonly known as Taiwan's silicon shield. The semiconductor chips that Taiwan produces are such that China would hold back from military invasion against them to avoid destroying the source of advanced chips that it needs for its own economy to thrive. At the same time, Taiwan's allies, including US, European countries, and Japan, would come to the defense not just because of geopolitical considerations, but also because a successful Chinese invasion could choke up the entire global supply chain of semiconductor chips. Taiwan's silicon shield not only safeguards its technological powers but also maintains the delicate balance between nations that shape the geopolitics of our interconnected digital age. To sum up, Taiwan's journey from an agricultural economy to the epicenter of global semiconductor productions shows what can be achieved with visionary leadership, strategic collaborations, and relentless commitment to the innovation. If you like our video, let us know in the comment section and stay tuned for more such informative videos. We want to educate all our Indian students about this great semiconductor industries. There are lots of opportunities coming in India and we should be ready to grab them all. So meet you guys in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.